Hello again, friends, family, and professors. Here I am again, making another one of these crappy YouTube videos. This video is going to be like a pseudo-sequel to my last video on Taylor's idea of recognition and multiculturalism. Today we're highlighting an issue in multiculturalism. Yay, problems! Today I'm going to be combing through Frank Lovett's cultural accommodation and domination, and mainly his idea of the in-group domination dilemma. I'm going to be defining what the in-group domination dilemma is exactly, why is it a problem, and I'm going to be pulling on some examples from Hmong culture and the Hmong community as examples to help illustrate what in-group domination is and the dilemma. The making of this video had youth, adolescent, whatever you're called, in mind. As you can tell from the intro, we're gonna have like more of that humor in here again. But essentially, the style of the video is more geared toward adolescents and that style of YouTube content. So I guess if you needed an age range, professors would be from, I don't know, like 13 to like early 20s, the horny age, the horny era, if you will. I like to call people in that age range the horny homies. Ahaha. Good jokes, guy. Very funny. Disclaimer. In the making of this video, there's been a lot of hate and crime directed towards Asians, and other Asiatic peoples. I know that this video is going to be putting an Asian culture under some scrutiny, but just know I do not condone any violence or any hate directed towards Asians, or anyone for that matter. The Hmong community is more than its ugly sides, to put it briefly. So hashtag stop Asian hate and stop being racist, or I'll send my goons after you. So to begin today's video, we have to first look at the man behind the thinking, Frank Lovett, and his idea of in-group domination. Frank Lovett is a professor at the University of Washington in St. Louis, and specializes in social sciences. In Lovett's Cultural Accommodation and Domination, he discusses one major issue and a sort of critique to Will Kimlicka's definition of multiculturalism, or at least what we should do for multiculturalism. And that issue is, you guessed it, in-group domination. Will Kimlicka is not that important for today's discussion. All that you need to know is that his idea of supporting multiculturalism is through accommodating these minority groups. To give a brief rundown of what multiculturalism is, if you haven't seen my last video, multiculturalism is the idea and the practice of allowing many other cultures to live and thrive in a society with little inhibition by that country's government. I guess like an example for this is America, for example. We are a multiculturalist country. So what in-group domination is exactly is a set of cultural practices that allow a group of people in that culture dominate over another group of people in that same culture. Domination is a very broad term in the context of multiculturalism. So a very brief definition that I can come up with is a set of cultural practices that are imposed onto another group of people in that same culture and forces them into doing a certain behavior or a certain social practice. So I hope by now you can start to see why in-group domination is a problem for multiculturalism. So now that we know what in-group domination is, we can now explain what the in-group domination dilemma is. The issue of allowing, of a multiculturalist society allowing these cultures into their country or society, and them perpetuating these domination-based practices. And another big part of the dilemma is how do we handle this? Again, multiculturalism sets out to provide as many leeways or many routes for a person to explore and come up with their own identity. And using Charles Taylor's his idea of misrecognition, Um, the misrecognition of one's identity inhibits them from ever attaining that true freedom and happiness that they deserve. So for those who still haven't quite wrapped their head around what in-group domination is, I'm going to be pulling some examples of in-group domination in the Hmong community to help illustrate what it is. So first one up, easy one, bride napping. What bride napping is in Hmong culture before we came to the States, and everywhere else in the world, is that like a man could kidnap their potential wife or just whoever, and if they hide them for a certain amount of time, which is like a three days to a full week, from their family, and the woman's not found, the man has the right to marry her despite whatever she has to say. I think it's very easy to see the issues, the problem with that. The woman has no say in this, and therefore she's being dominated in this case. This is a much less talked about issue, and it might not even be an issue to some people. It depends on interpretation or who you ask. But there is a heavy dependence on the sons in Hmong family. The Hmong sons, they pass the family clan / name. Her, Tao, Yang, Li, etc., etc. So what Hmong parents would do is that they would lock their children, mainly their sons, into this particular life path, and they're very judgmental about their life decisions. For example, like who they can date, what jobs they can have, etc., etc. And again, the problem with that is that the son is locked from pursuing what they really want in life independently. A more concrete and more widespread issue is Hmong marriage. Divorce in Hmong culture is taboo, and this taboo can be traced back to the shamanistic belief of when two people get married, the wife's spirit leaves her family clan, i.e. her, Tao, Li, etc., and it's incorporated into the husband's clan. And so if a divorce were to happen, her spirit is kicked out of that clan and is now considered a lost spirit because she cannot return to her family clan either, her birth family clan either. And so the wife can not literally return home, like physically. And the reason why this is a domination oriented practice that I'm highlighting here is because of this expectation, or because of this taboo, the wife is essentially locked into this marriage, and that restricts her freedom, her will. So now let's explore the in-group domination dilemma a little bit more. So does allowing cultures with these domination-oriented practices undermine multiculturalism? Yes! Multiculturalism is an extension of liberty. It allows the people in those cultures or outside of cultures to fully explore like who they want to be, to gain like the most authentic view of themselves as they can. Domination is misrecognition, according to Taylor. And therefore, to harbor it in a society would completely go against what multiculturalism stands for. This video is just meant to highlight the problem. So we're just going to briefly run through Lovett's solutions. First one, accommodate the victims. And second one, create modes of support and special accommodations to prevent any sunk cultural costs. I'm not going to go too much into that, but the gist is that the dominated, support them, raise them up to fight against their domination. Another solution that Lovett posed was to just blatantly distinct which practices do and do not involve domination, and those that do, we just blatantly say this is not allowed in our society. We stomp them out. One major counter argument or counterpoint to those solutions was the thinking of who gets to choose what is considered a good cultural practice and what isn't. It's a very scary line to tread. And also, accommodation or other outside help can undermine the self-determinism of those cultural groups. So what I mean by that is that it could feel demeaning or condescending for the white man to intervene. Looking back at American history and how colonists treated American Indians, the colonist line of thought was that Native Americans, American Indians, I apologize, were savage, and they wanted to assimilate them, because we good, you dumb, and that brought up today, what would that mean for contemporary multiculturalism? Would that again undermine multiculturalism? And what separates that instance from today? What's different from an American colonist trying to assimilate American Indians from, I don't know, like the American government trying to limit this cultural practice? At least in some people in the Hmong community, they would rather try and fail to solve our problems in our community than have an outside force, i.e., the government, come in and solve it for us. Like it's demeaning. So in conclusion, Lovett's in-group domination dilemma is more of a critique on Kimika's view of multiculturalism, and that multiculturalism as a whole, and how general and idealistic it can be at times. Um, Points like this from people like Lovett keeps multiculturalists on their toes and like to more finely determine like what is okay and what isn't in contemporary, not just in multicultural society, but just in contemporary society, period. So if we didn't examine these domination-oriented practices in our society, it could be a whole lot more damaging to society as a whole than the issues that we're dealing with now. A famous saying that I like to throw around a lot is the path to hell is paved with good intentions. It is good to have a country with the freedom for anyone to practice whatever culture, religion, etc., belief that they want. However, some of those beliefs harm others. Again, like in my last video, the issues I highlighted about the Hmong community, I think definitely contribute to many other problems in the community. And no one talks about these issues. And I think that these issues should be examined more and mentioned more in more works of philosophy, mental health, etc. Final thought, I guess, again, this video was made for more younger audience. I guess trying to trick them into watching philosophy video. If my video was funny, hopefully it did its job. If it wasn't, blame future me for doing a bad job editing and writing. Before I go, I want to thank my friend Linda, who helped me gather information about the Hmong cultural practices. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't have any examples, so thank you a lot for that. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please share with your friends and family, and maybe subscribe while you're at it too. I definitely will be posting more videos. Maybe I'll be posting more philosophy videos, or maybe I'll be posting some more creative projects. Who knows? We'll see in the future. But for now, thank you, and have a good one.